All right, let's turn now to the latest developments coming from the Middle East. All right, Hezbollah in Lebanon exchanging fire with Israeli forces over the weekend, certainly raising concerns again about a wider war. But now what we've been hearing from both sides is this talk about possible de-escalation, at least for the time being. Glenn Ignazio joins us, retired Air Force Special Operations Commander, with analysis on all of this. Where do you think we are, Glenn? A little bit of a pause, it seems. At first, we saw the headlines over the weekend that here we go, maybe not. Your assessment?
Yeah, I think that things have definitely escalated to a point. We're definitely going to see what happens in the near term here. But yeah, you're talking about an incredible launch from Hezbollah that was almost at the same size of what Iran did some months ago. Fortunately, it was stopped and preemptively, where Israel was able to find those launch points. But it was significant. So does that sort of escalate to a de-escalation? Have we've seen actually Israel take that approach in the past? That would be great. The issue is, though, some of the other factions, like the Houthis, just blew up an oil tanker rather tremendously and very vividly in the Red Sea. So, as they may be calming down in Hezbollah, what are the other factions doing? In fact, the U.S. forces are still getting hit from those others. So, Iran is still active and playing against other players, not just Israel.
All right, a couple of things. You mentioned the Houthis. I have a full screen that will put up statement from their threat, quoting now: "We congratulate Hezbollah and its Secretary General on the great and courageous attack carried out by the resistance. We reaffirm once again the Yemeni response is definitely coming." As you say, it's already coming. It's already started. All right, now to the maps that I have on the tablet, just for perspective. If you look at the region in large, it's all right next to each other here. Middle East tensions, the Gaza Strip of the south, Israel. Lebanon is where Hezbollah is. But when you talk about the capabilities, and this kind of outlines it, of Hezbollah, you can get into this, Glenn, but they're far more capable, right, than Hamas. You see some of the ranges on their rockets that they can send out, and number 6 on the list there at the bottom goes essentially, all the way out here, which is down to Egypt and that kind of thing. So the capability to do damage from Hezbollah versus Hamas, what would you say?
Yeah, it is significant. I mean, you look at the scuds on the very bottom. That was one of the things we were hunting from Hussein when Saddam was in power. He was firing at Israel. So those are threats that are very, very distinguished in distance. But you're absolutely right. So you hear Hezbollah has hundreds of thousands of rockets. Yes, they do. They can't launch them all at the same time, but they have significant, from small to large, as you saw. And that's why I feel that they went full on, that would be a tremendous problem from Israel, and I think we'd see a lot of damage. However, with that's one of the reasons why we put the carrier groups both in the Med and down in the Red Sea, to be able to sort of provide that umbrella from a defensive systems with the aircraft and the cruisers to be able to shoot those types of missiles down. So that's one of the reasons why we're there to support Israel in defensive state. But you're absolutely right. The amount and the volume can be overwhelming, and that's why I think we brought all the forces together for it.
No, we talk about it from that side, how overwhelming it can be, but here's the other number, again on the tablet. Israel is quite capable of defending itself, right? That's Israel, right? Hezbollah on the left. So just in terms of sheer manpower there, if you include especially the reservists, I mean, Israel can do this, but it's just, it's already fighting in the Gaza Strip, right? So talk about the military back and forth if this does move to a next step.
Sure. As far as the military, as you can see by these numbers, significantly, Israel has a lot more. They are engaged much more on the ground in the ground order battle within Gaza.
Right.
With their aircraft, they launched about 100 the other day. So those aircraft were able to support in the war in Gaza and in Hezbollah. The problem will be, what are the ground forces going to do if that was a ground incursion? That is something that nobody wants to do, and the damage would be horrific on both sides. But as far as the technology is concerned, we do have that umbrella, but all technology has limitations. So if there was a massive volume of launches from Hezbollah, that's where the Iron Dome and other systems could be overwhelmed. And that's why I believe the allies and the U.S. has brought that to bear. So yes, Israel does have a huge significance, but technologically and volume-wise, it can be overwhelmed by Hezbollah in those particular detailed tactics.
All right, so for now, we hope for the best, hope for the de-escalation, maybe even for the ceasefire talks to get going again and all of that. I want to get your thoughts on one final subject, though, Glenn, before you go, and that's Afghanistan. I mentioned a few times on the show today that we're at the 3rd anniversary of the Abbey Gate terror attack, part of the botched withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan. Again, 3 years ago, former President Trump talked about it. Your thoughts on it today, 3 years later?
Yeah, it's very heavy to me. Part of the teams of getting people out afterwards. Huge veteran involvement, not just from the U.S. military to get our allies out. It is significant because, regardless if you like it, politics or not, this was a very big failure in execution, and we're still trying to get people out and into the United States that are still escaping the Taliban.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.